On to our examples now. So again, examples are here to show you how we approach certain questions that you will come into contact in the questions that have been set for this particular exercise. So first one we have is completing the following, showing which operation was used. And remember as well that the same operation must be used for both sides. So just as a little reminder, we use reverse operations. So if it's plus, we're going to use minus. If it is multiply, we're going to use divide. I like to write that for myself as just a little reminder and put the arrows in between, because then I can always see it visually and then go from there. So having a look at this type of question, what you're essentially doing is seeing what's different between this line to this line. And remember, the goal of answering these types of questions is to get this by itself. So let's highlight that to see if that will actually help us. So again, we've got our pronumeral on its own. That's what we're trying to do. We're always trying to get it on its own. So to get from here to here, I have to get rid of this 12. So I do that using the reverse operation, and I add 12 to both sides. So if I write that in, I add 12 to both sides, and that is what you do to get that answer. So just double check. 8 plus 12 does indeed equal 20, and C minus 12 plus 12 minus 12 and plus 12 cancel out to just give C. On to example B. So again, now we're using that method of solving it systematically. So you need to show me, you have to figure out what to do first, and then you need to show me using your working, not just kind of figuring out in your brain, show me using your working that this has a particular solution, okay? So again, we're always trying to get the pronumeral by its own, so let's highlight that. We have our letter A here, and we want to get it by itself. So first thing we've got here, we've got plus 5 here. So the opposite operation of our plus 5 would actually be minus 5. So I'm just going to highlight that so you can see that. So we've got our plus 5, and we want to do our reverse operation of minus 5. And remember, what I do to one side, I do the other, so I have to do to both. So you can see here, so 5 minus 5 plus A equals A, and 11 minus 5 equals 6. So the solution for this, because it's asked us to solve, the solution we write is A equals 6. And a way you can always double check that is to substitute it back in. So if I substitute it back in, 5 plus 6 does indeed equal 11. So A equals 6 is a true solution. On to our second last example. So on to letter C. So again, we're solving the following equation and we're doing it systematically. Here is our equation. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight where I have my pronumeral and see what I actually have around it, because that's what we have to then deal with. So I've got here, because I want to get that pronumeral by itself, 3p, remember, is the same as 3 times p, or p times 3, same thing. Because this is multiply, my reverse operation of multiplication is division. Okay, so we want to get rid of that 3 in front, and that 3 is 3 multiply. So we have to then apply divide by 3 to both sides. So 12 divided by 3, don't worry, this will be fixed on your doc, apologies. Let's make that look a little bit prettier, shall we? So I've got 12 divided by 3 and 3p divided by 3. So if I do that, so 12 divided by 3 equals 4, 3p divided by 3 equals p, because 3 divided by 3 just gives me 1. So 1p we just write as p. We have now found a solution, and we want to always write our solution as a letter equals a certain number. So we would write our solution out as our pronumeral equals a certain number. So our solution is p equals 4. On to our last example before you hop on to the worked examples. So again, solving this equation systematically, and we've got our reverse operations. So we've got our plus and our minus, we've got our multiplication, and we've got our division. Again, have that there as a little reminder at the top of your page to make your life a bit easier. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight where I have my pronumeral. So next thing I can see is I have a divide by 2. So it's x divided by 2, and I want to get the pronumeral, as we always do, by itself. So x over 2 is the same as x divided by 2. So our reverse operation for this one, for divide by 2, we have to then multiply by 2 on both sides. So x over 2 multiplied by 2, these two cancel out, and then I have 7 multiplied by 2 equaling 14 to give my solution of 14. So remember, get the pronumeral by itself, use the opposite operation, apply it to both sides, and then write your solution onto your worked examples now.